Very few people have understood the references and symbolism in Tulip Mania, but don't worry, I'm not too cool for you. This video has everything you need to be a big brain connoisseur. I hope you stick around, but feel free to skip through as well. I explained most of the memes in another video, so if you don't know what Wojak memes are, click here. Quick history lesson. Modern finance as we know it began in the Netherlands in the 17th century, complete with the stock market, futures, and other derivatives. Several commodities have been traded, bid on, and speculated ever since, but the most famous is the tulip. In 1636, the value of tulips went to the moon, then dramatically crashed the next year. At the height of Tulip Mania, tulip futures contracts were practically being used as currency. At one time, a single Viceroy was worth a mansion. There's a lot more I could say, but let's get to the video.
Hey Wojak, I haven't seen you in a
Tulip
while.
Mania is also called Tulpenwoede in Dutch, or Tulip Madness. So Wojak translates to
How has
Mad
life
Jack.
been?
The pandemic has been hard.
This is true. The Low Countries were just coming out of a resurgence of the bubonic plague that wiped out 17% of the population.
Life is so short and I am stuck in wage slavery. There has got to be a way out.
Maybe we should go into tulips. I hear they're going to all the way to the sea and beyond.
It's a made-up phrase to replace to the moon.
Don't spread this around, but I made more than 30,000 guilders within 4 months. I retired early from the army and I'm living the dream.
Wow. How does it work?
The room in back is one of the tulip trading colleges. We trade futures on bulbs. The bulbs hold value because always grow back, but they do not bloom until spring. It's called the bulb chain.
I wouldn't overthink this one. All I did was list the ways in which tulips held value and called it the bulb chain. Because it's funny.
For 20 guilders, then in a month it was worth 225 guilders. But those aren't worth nearly as much as the diseased tulips.
Yep, you heard that right. It turns out this prized flame-like pattern is a result of a virus breaking up the pigment.
This is just getting started.
This is my chance. I am going to talk to my father.
You don't come by here much these days. Does this mean you are finally ready to make something of your life?
You could say that. I've found my big break, but I need some money.
What for?
I'm going to make my fortune in tulips.
Don't fall for that tulip folly. There's something ungodly about trading stocks, but if you are going to invest, buy something reliable like VOC or GWC. Jan made 6% return on his capital last year.
Those are rookie numbers.
These interactions are familiar tropes in Wojak videos.
I'll tell you what you can have. I just bought this boat. It's yours because you need to stay with this profession, where you make no great profit and suffer no great loss. Get out of my sight and don't come back until you've cleaned up your act.
You don't know anything. You'll be the one coming to me for money. You'll see.
2 hours later.
Van Houten refuses the offer and must pay 3 pence.
You're late. I didn't think you were going to make it.
I was just getting a loan from the bank with my boat as collateral. I'm ready to pluck and strum. Tulips to the sea and beyond.
Oh yeah.
We have a newcomer. My good and special friend Wojak.
According to the Samenspraks, people in tulip colleges were known to say things like this. I did a stupid amount of research on this. Buy the plates was one of 2 trading systems they used. The plates are these slates that were partly rounded and also called discs. I didn't figure that part out until after the video.
Offer on that man's goods over there. What are your bulbs, sir?
My latest variety in the ground right now won't disappoint.
What are you going to call this one?
Tulip varieties were often given prestigious names.
The Viceroy?
When I first
Actually,
heard of
I thought I'd
Dogecoin,
name it
I
after
thought,
the
are
Duke
they
of
talking
Venice,
about the
better known
Doge
as
of
the
Venice? Surely they can't be talking about the meme. I also got to talk about the use of candles, which for now are all green. These represent the candlestick charts used in markets. You can imagine what happens when the candles are
Wow.
red.
How much do you want for 200 aces of it?
1000 guilders.
Are you kidding me?
It's okay. Just bring your counter
Here's
offer
more
to
of
a
that
notary.
weird buy-the-plate system.
A few moments later.
You should take it. I have heard on good authority that Doge is going all the way beyond the sea.
I'll take it. Yes, no more
Yep,
rat
by
race.
this time a
I'm
florist was
florist
anyone
now.
who dealt in flowers, no experience growing them needed.
4 to 6 weeks later.
A month or so has passed, and we are now deeper into the winter of 1636 through 37.
What's going on here?
Wooda Jack. Do you still have Doge? Look at what it's trading for.
In the Knot is another trading system that will be more familiar to us, basically an auction.
This can't be real. This can't be happening.
It's not just Doge. All the tulips we bought are going across the sea.
This glorious outfit is from the Tulip Folly by Jean-Léon Gérôme. We'll talk more about this painting later. A Dutch Golden Age portrait of Wojak, done in chiaroscuro. That triangle of light on his cheek is called a Rembrandt triangle, even in photography. And here we have the man himself. Okay, here's the scene I really wanted to break down. Let's start with Flora, the goddess of flowers. Flora was the meme they used at the time. It seemed only appropriate that she be played by none other than Sminum. This wagon is powered by flower power. This painting is called Flora's Wagon of Fools by Hendrik Gerrits Pot. It's a satirical allegory on Tulip Mania, and the Dutch really did have these sail wagons that they rode on the dunes with for fun. Here we have Flora, weavers abandoning their trade. I think these are fools or jesters that represent loose talk, gluttony, avarice, hoarding collectibles, and fleeting hope. Their names are much more clever in Dutch. But notice on the back of her head is another face, so in a way, she also represents the two-faced Fortuna, which is where I got the whole idea for O Fortuna concept that happens later. What happens now? They are not taking a rocket to the moon, they are going across the sea. Where across the sea? I ended up deciding on Brazil. Brazil has never not been the place to party. This is Syndicates of the Drapers Guild by Rembrandt. They are supposed to be friendly and engaging with the viewer, but it looked like it would just take a little tweaking to make them creepy and imposing. I went with a lot of candidates for who would be our 17th century Bog, but I settled on this guy in the painting in the shadows that Rembrandt seems to focus on.
Wojak van Fields owns numerous tulip futures and has made several purchases with them. What should we do now?
Dump it.
I beg your grace's pardon?
I said dump it. I think he has had his small taste of luxury for long enough, don't you?
Yes, here Bob.
You know what to do.
A red candle and a bear on the snuffer. Two-faced Fortuna always turning, Sminum and Bogdanov being opposing forces. Yep, that was the date of the big crash. Can you find a video of a bear eating a bull on the internet? Yes. Yes, you can. Oh no, everyone is panic selling. Will no one buy Wodajack's contracts? Nah, dog. And back to the rat race.
Get wrecked, noob.
No fair. I call halves.
Well, break it up.
I own at gaming. Why couldn't I game the markets?
I love this guy. And look, I even used the old Discord brand color.
Hey Wooda Jack, how is your portfolio doing? I live just outside of Harlem right now.
How does he still have a place to live? I thought he went all in on tulips too.
The next day.
What's all this?
It's my tulip mining rig.
How the hell can you afford that?
I liquidated some of my tulip contracts on the 1st of February. And of course I didn't have to pay more than the wine money for the purchases in the first place.
You sold?
Yep, you didn't have to
Why
pay
didn't
for
you
the
tell
bulbs
me?
until spring,
wasn't sure
and
it
after the
was a
big
good
crash
time
in
to sell.
February, the courts
You should
ruled
do
that
your
the
own
contracts were gambling
At the
debts
end of
and
the day, I'm not a
unenforceable.
financial advisor. But look at you. You look terrible. What happened?
I bought it all on credit, don't you remember?
Hey, don't give up hope. I'm sure this is just a market correction from profit taking. Now's the time to hodl. We got diamond hands, yo.
Easy for you to say.
Look, I know at least one place your tulip coins are still good, right here. I'll sell you some real actual bulbs right here.
Where would I grow them? I'm homeless.
You can go into business with me and crash here. You can borrow the spot in the sun by the fence for your mining rig.
You mean garden?
Yeah, same thing. What'd ya say?
Wow, thanks Zuner. You're a great friend after all.
One eternity later.
Hey Zuner, look at this. I think I see a little bit of color. I wonder if it's the bloom.
Yeah. Wait. Are you telling me you've never seen a real tulip before?
No. What do I look like? A Turk? It's a digital pen and paper asset. You don't have to have a perfect understanding of how the bulb chain works to be a florist. Just follow the experts. That's why I have you.
Well, look at that. This one is coming out black.
That's cool.
No, don't you get it? If it comes out unblemished black, the Tulip Society will give a 100,000.
I think this actually happened, but no one met the
Yeah,
requirements.
this could be the first mining rig to solve it.
A vanitas is a really symbolic Dutch still life used to remind you of death and how fleeting vain things are.
Tulip prices continue to plummet according to your wishes here above Enip.
I have been sculpting my face to the ideal of human perfection. What do you think so far?
A Chad can only hope to achieve such masculine beauty, my master. The council is trying to stabilize prices. What should I tell them?
Tell them to send out the goons to create tulip scarcity. Tell them that will stabilize prices.
Yes, your grace.
I definitely needed to include Rembrandt's most famous masterpiece, The Night Watch.
Dump out as many tulips as we can to create scarcity.
This is The Tulip Folly by Jean-Léon Gérôme. This was done in France way later in the 19th century to comment on a financial level of that time. I'm really not sure if this tulip stomping part actually happened, and here's where I got Wojak's outfit from earlier, and where I got the idea for Chad guarding his tulips here in a sec. What a ridiculous outfit.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're
Not everyone knows this, but that is actually the voice of Katy Perry. I used the Ethereum logo because it kind of looks like a flower and it's sometimes black. That's it.
No. This can't be. At least I still have the bulb. It will grow again next year.
The next morning.
So this is where my son is living these days. No one is here. I suppose I will make myself comfortable until he gets back. Tisk tisk. Still gaming all day. Let's see what there is to eat. Some delicious kipper. It will go well with some salt, rosemary, and an onion.
This is based off a centuries-old legend about a sailor who mistook a tulip for an onion, stole it, and had the world's most expensive meal. There you have it. I guess I'll go on to doing some more animations. I have some ideas for them, but if you have any ideas on what you think will happen next or what you want to happen next, go ahead and comment below.